Good morning, everybody. Welcome to First Church, First Center Religious Science here in New York City. I want to welcome all of you who are on the Zoom call today. I understand there's over 100 of you on the call. Thanks to Jimmy for all his good work and his outreach, and Suzu and the rest of our tech team. I want to also have a special welcome to those of you who are watching on YouTube and YouTube Live. You're getting our message all over the world, and we're getting all your feedback, and we're most appreciative. Say a special welcome to those of you walking in the door and those of you who are in our studio audience. We went through a time in COVID, and the center was trying to figure out what it was going to be, and we knew that online services were going to be the way of the future. So we're now a hybrid community, and we've grown quite a bit. So we've done so through with your help, with your support. So today I want to extend my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you who are on the call and those of you who are listening throughout this week. Your presence isn't just appreciated, and it's cherished, and you're a valued member of our online community. We're all united in our journey of spiritual growth and self-discovery. And together we're creating a really interesting, supportive, and loving space for all of us on that journey. Today I want to set the stage for a meaningful discussion. My subject today is digital detox, and it's a discussion that I've known that I wanted to do, but I put off because there's so much about technology that's happening. Every few months there's something new. So most likely this will be one of several discussions over the next year or so. But before we start, Ernest Holmes, our founder of religious science and the author of our textbook, he wrote several books, many important articles, and one of which I'm going to paraphrase for you right now. And it's entitled, "This is My Day." And it starts out, "This is your day, a day Spirit has provided for you. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I know that this loving energy is here within, and it goes forth before me, and it clears my way. It's now guiding me in all of my decisions. I feel and I know that all is well with me and mine. My words are charged with power and vitality. I declare this good for myself and all the people I know. My life is a reflection of this inner divine perfection. I let go of any idea of fear, doubt, or confusion, and I rest in the quietness and the peace of my own being, in my own soul. I am at peace, and I'm satisfied in knowing the divine presence that is within me, now and always. I'm happy, I'm full of gratitude, all is well, and I feel perfectly safe." This reading by Holmes emphasizes the idea of living in the present moment, knowing and finding the peace that's available right here within each and every one of us. And as we find this peace, there's a sense of gratitude that we have. And we always experience that in the now. And as we do, we begin to trust in the guidance that we have within us. So it's always important for us to find that place where we can remember and quiet ourselves down. And my advice throughout this lesson and all lessons is to do that as often as you can, to remember that you're centered and you are a center of God activity. You yourself are a center in this one. And you are, as Raymond Charles Barker always affectionately said, the whole bit. So you have it all. And this is always going to be an invitation to remember that. So I love that piece today of Holmes. I wanted to read it before getting started on our little discussion on spiritual detox. We're exploring this topic that's become increasingly relevant in our rapidly changing world. Every time I think I want to talk about it, there's a whole lot of other information that you would add to it. It's important to say only, in this digital age, we're constantly connected now through screens that surround us. In our recording room, there's no less than 6 or 8 screens and booths and stuff. And In our homes, there's flat screen TVs, there's iPads, there's iPhones, there's Android phones, there's every kind of device. But have you ever paused and wondered, is this all good? Is it all good for you? Maybe it's time for us to consider taking a break. Or maybe we need what people are now calling digital detoxes. You start looking for that now, you'll see it everywhere. There's a point where in our lives, especially as we're using all these devices, where it becomes overwhelming and we might be losing sight of some of the things that are more important to us. It's easy to have it happen too. I've got statistics. I don't know where I put them in these notes, but adults are spending in excess of 3 hours a day on their devices, and children are spending 6 and 7 hours, which seems astonishing to me. There's definite benefits with all the digital advancements, and we want to see how this aligns. We want to look at the benefits, and we want to look at how we might want to put the brakes on it or slow it down a little bit. Before getting into our lesson, let's take a moment and center ourselves, become present. And as we say many Sundays or Thursdays, deep within the center of your being, there is an infinite well of love and intelligence. It's a sacred space. So I'd like you at least to touch that space and be aware of it for today. And we can even do a little mini minute or two meditation. So I'd invite you to close your eyes and get comfortable and breathe in and out gently. Soften your gaze. Take in a deep breath, filling your lungs, exhaling slowly. As you breathe in and breathe out, let go of any tension you might have. Let go of distractions. As you continue to breathe slowly and naturally, I want you to focus your attention on the sensation of your breath coming into your mouth, into your lungs. And as you exhale, you can feel it as you breathe in and out. With each breath, allow yourself to let go of worries, distractions that have happened during the day from the outside world. We all have had them. This is the moment where you let go so you can be fully here, fully present. And as we're breathing in and out together, let's reflect on the concept of balance and peace and mindfulness. Let's go to that place where all is well. Breathe it in and exhale. Consider how a few moments of this intentional stillness and centering can create a sense of calm and clarity. Notice how it feels to be present today, in this moment, how it's different than earlier. Feel free from the constant pull of all the distractions. Your digital distractions, your phones, your devices, all the noise. Take another deep breath. When you're ready, just gently open your eyes. And all this was a little step forward towards mindfulness and presence. We teach you in this teaching to practice the presence. You hear us say it often. We teach you deep within the center of your being, there is this infinite well of love. And that was Louise Hay's way of saying it. Others have said the kingdom of God is at hand. It's always here, in you, operating through you. But we get so very busy that we don't recognize it. We forget. We really forget. We react a lot to people and places and things. So always, the first tool is to remember you can take that pause. You have power within you that you can use, greater than you, and you can use it, said Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes also said, in the stillness, we find our true selves. So that's an invitation again, to take that pause, as Ernest Holmes said, and realize in the stillness, we find our true selves. There is that which is within everyone here that's always attempting to get our attention. You can call it spirit, you can call it source, you can call it anything you want to call it, but it's surely there within you, operating through you. That very thing that's within you is connected to every other human being that lives. People aren't aware of it for the most extent. Those of you who are on this call who tune in are aware of it. Even though we're aware of it, we forget. So we come together every Thursday, every Wednesday, every Sunday for a bit of time together so we can remember that we are one with Source, that we're connected with this one power, this one energy, this perennial thing that's animated life since the beginning of time. We're here to remind you that you are an eternal being, an inlet and outlet of Source. And as you know that for yourself, you know it for everyone else too. So now we're here and we're centered and we're knowing that we're one with the one. And we're going to talk a little bit about technology. It was Christian Lewis Lang who said, technology is a useful servant, but it's a very dangerous master. Think about that. Technology is a useful servant, but it's a very dangerous master. So we have a challenge. I was listening to Elon Musk about a month or two ago, and he's one of the more brilliant people around these days, and he has a company where he's fully invested in artificial intelligence, and even at a potential loss for himself, he's calling for a halt to its use. He wants to take a pause. And because there's a huge race now all over the world to employ artificial intelligence, and it's available to everybody now who has an internet connection or a cell phone. We have access to intelligence as never before. And Musk's point was that we need to sit down together, global leaders, new thought, I should say thought leaders, leaders, period, and get a handle on it. It's not likely that they're going to do it, but that was his desire for people to take a pause and reflect. That's essentially what we're doing today. So with Christian Lewis Lang saying technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master, it gives us a reason to pause. For today, I looked up, in today's world, digital devices have become ubiquitous companions, with over now 5 billion people worldwide using smartphones alone. That's just smartphones, right? So there's absolutely no end in sight, because you can add to that every one of your flat screen TVs, which sometimes act as computers, and all your other devices. There's no end in sight. Well, these devices offer incredible convenience for us all and connectivity. They also bring forth a lot of challenges. Excessive screen time has been linked to anxiety disorders, stress, sleep deprivation, disturbances, and a sense of disconnect. People have their relationship with their television sometimes rather than with people. I remember when I was a child, my grandparents would have the TV on for a few hours and the program stopped. And then everybody either started talking to each other or they went to bed and stuff. But now the content's 24 hours a day and it's on every social platform imaginable. So it's time for us to consider this and to think about how we want to navigate our life, how we want to navigate the digital age mindfully. We want to recognize that there's problems or potential problems. And obviously for yourself, you want to cultivate a balance. If you have young children, you definitely want to pay attention to this. You want to decide how to handle the situation that's in your own life, in your family. Some of you know and some of you don't know. And I'm going to say that there are algorithms. Algorithms can be thought like of a recipe card that social media platforms use. So they can monitor what you do online. They know what you read. They know what you buy at your various stores. They know what you like. And they also know what you share. So they're then able to show you more of what you like. So it's nice to have people show you what you like. But the only problem with that is nobody's showing you the other side of the coin. If it's a discussion, you're only hearing the types of opinions that are very similar to yours. And that can be convenient. That might even be pleasing, but there's a hidden danger in that. These algorithms can create what's called a filter bubble all around you, Were you only hearing the things that confirm what you think and believe? This, of course, over time will limit what you're exposed to, what you see, and it will make it harder for you to see and understand other people's viewpoints. Just a couple words more on the subject. As I said with the discussion with Elon Musk, there's a race right now to capitalize on artificial intelligence. And there's enormous profits that are behind all of that. But again, just like for ourselves, we're talking about taking a pause. This might be something that we ought to be considering doing individually as well as collectively. We want to consider, what the impact is and the consequences for unchecked usage of all of these types of programs and devices. So today's consideration is whether we want to take a pause ourselves. It's notable that we're getting busier and busier. Most Americans, I can't speak for the whole world, don't have much to show for all their busyness. What's it been like for you? Many are working harder and harder, and they don't have much to show for it. So some of the suggestions for today that were given to me is that we could consider diversifying the amount of information that we partake in. We can actively seek out different sources and opinions and get a more balanced view of the world. When I was taught years ago by Dr. Bill, he said to us, spend a limited amount of time watching the news and don't do it late at night. And because you want to be careful what you program yourself with. Today, I would add, and turn the channels and listen to different points of view. Because if you keep going to the same source, you'll only be hearing from one point of view. So when you're in your digital diet, the suggestion is seek different sources, different opinions, and then decide for yourself, because you'll have the benefit of having different perspectives. On a suggested digital diet, many people have suggested that we limit our screen time. And that's for you. It's for your kids, your grandchildren. Set boundaries for social media and screen time to avoid getting stuck in the algorithm bubble. So you can search for your own things and you can look your own things and limit the amount of time. Always, for those of us engaged in the teaching, is the suggestion to interact mindfully. In other words, be conscious of what you engage with when you're online. Every time you press like and you share, it's reinforcing an algorithm's choices. Regularly, here's another suggestion, clear your cookies and clear your cache, clear your history. This alone will help reduce the extent in which the platforms can track your online behavior and preferences. Another suggestion, consume news and content from different sources, as I've already said this, that are not driven solely by the things you want. So if you take some of these steps, any of these steps, individuals can regain a little bit more control of their online experiences. And the algorithms which are presenting you with all these things, that they're designed to get you to stay on for as long as possible. The more you're able to do some of these things, they'll have less influence over you. Oscar Wilde once talked about balance is an ongoing journey. It's not a destination. So we're always working to balance these things out. I have another person, Annie Lamont, said almost everything will work if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. So I've known that about my first computer. I didn't know how to work it, but I knew if I unplugged it, it would work better once I plugged it back in. So I passed that one to all of us. Almost everything will work if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. Now, Stephen Covey, a favorite of many, said you have to decide what your highest priorities are going to be. And you have to have the courage, this is with media, to pleasantly, with a smile, without apology, say no to a lot of this time and a lot of these interactions. And the way to do this is by having a bigger yes burning inside of you, which is, look, I've got a desire to be something. I have a desire to have this type of job, have this type of relationship. I have a desire for many things. And this stuff obviously is getting in the way. So if you have a bigger yes inside of you, it becomes easier to say no to just squandering your time in the way many are doing. At the center in what we teach, our goal is always remembering that the peace of God is our one goal. That's always going to be what we teach here. The peace of God, this idea that there is this perfection, there is this peace that is in you. And the answer is always going to be the same here. No matter if it's digital distractions, which is what we're talking about this afternoon, or any of the changes that take place in our day-to-day living, it's always going to be about getting centered, coming back to this place deep at the center of your being, and knowing that all is well. That's what we do. That's what we teach. Knowing that you are as Spirit created you. As the saying goes, I am as Spirit created me in the light, in the love, and in the glory. And once you know it, stay there for a while and stay the course. Keep bringing yourself back to the place where you know I'm supplied and supported. Whenever things feel really crazy or off, you just bring yourself back and say, I am supplied and supported, and I'm here. I'm one with the one. So all of this for us starts with us remembering to take that pause that we talk about, to be more mindful, to take that pause. I'm reminded of Thich Nhat Hanh, if I'm saying his name right. The present moment is the only time over which you have any dominion. So mindfulness, be mindful, is the art of practicing, cultivating awareness of this presence. So we remember to come back, and we know that we are one with the one. We are one with light and love, and to be mindful of that. And this is the practice we cultivate. You might consider in the days to come whether you want to, how you want to approach your digital usage. Only you know if you're overdoing it. I would say probably most people are overdoing it from everything I can read. So maybe you want to take a pause, and it can be like a refreshing reset button for your minds, a way to break free from your screens and find a little bit more peace. If you do this, you're likely to feel a little less stressed and a little bit more centered. Imagine it like this. Instead of constantly checking your devices, we can set aside specific times each day, maybe an hour without your screens. The question is, could you do it? Or maybe you could dedicate a whole weekend to doing things offline. Politics, somebody who's here. Or some of you like nature. Some of you like going hiking. Dedicating a whole weekend to doing the things you like offline, walking in nature. I learned as I was preparing for this lesson that people are now taking a whole day off. They're taking what's called digital Sabbaths. You've all heard of keeping the holy day holy. Well, people are taking an entire day off, a digital Sabbath, from all their devices. I encourage all of you to think about your own lives and consider whether this might be something that could be good for you. You might not even think that you have a problem, or it's not a problem for you. The more I read, the more I realize it's probably a problem for many people. So maybe there's something that each of us could do, or we could at least start to think about it better. We can create our own tailor-made digital detox plan. It was said it's like giving yourself a soothing spa day for your mind. Remember always that we're always at choice. The point of power is in the present moment. So we get to decide if this is an issue for us or not. The thing about knowing this teaching is we're always able to commune with great thinkers and great minds. That was one of my great gifts from Dr. Bill, who used to say, you have the ability today to commune with some of the greatest minds that have ever lived. And you do. If you're willing to read, you really do. And if you're willing even to just watch YouTube, you have the ability to commune with some of the greatest minds that have ever lived. You might consider, instead of going to your favorite movie streaming device, you might consider going to some TED Talks and listening to some of the most brilliant people alive on the planet today. You might decide you want to listen to Dr. Holmes. You might decide you want to listen to Louise. You might want to get into Emerson. There's unlimited amounts of knowledge and things that are available for you to lift yourself up and hitch your wagon to the stars. The only thing that's stopping us, unfortunately, is us. It's too easy to go to TikTok. Is that what it is? TikTok. And just nonstop watch stuff. And the more we like it, it knows that we like it. And it will give us more and more of the same. So I don't know where it'll ever end. I don't think it will. But I do know that you're at choice. We're all at choice. We can commune with the greatest minds that have ever lived. And life is saying yes to you. See, that's the thing we know about religious science. Life says yes to you. So if you think you're great, you are. If you know that you're whole and complete and there's a pattern of health and wealth and creativity in you, if you know that truly and deeply, then that's what shows up in your life. But if you think that you're no good, you think that, if you have a low opinion of yourself and you don't love yourself much, then I'm inviting you to attend our Thursday classes, because what we do on Thursday is keep reminding you of how great you are and remind you and teach you and keep teaching you that you deserve more and better. So a digital detox is just on our list here of many things that we can consider. We have no commands here. There is no religion. It's just a consideration. Are you spending too much time on those devices? Are you watching stuff that's empowering? Are you watching news that's life-giving? What are you doing to take care of yourself with all this time? If you're spending 7 hours a day on digital content, I certainly hope that it's stuff that's empowering, is all I can say. So in our teaching, in the religious science, with Louise Hay's work, we're always learning to love ourselves more and more. And we're always learning to nurture our spiritual connection. How do we do this? Well, we start wherever we are. Maybe we could start with some deep breathing, some meditation, some affirmations. Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers that you have within yourself that you have built against it. We understand from a metaphysical place that we exist in this divine energy, and it responds to us endlessly. So we already are, you're the thing that you're looking for. You are this divine energy. We just have to awaken to it more and more and know that you are one with it. We don't always remember it. This might be an entirely new idea for some people on the call. So everything that you've always been looking for is here and it's available. But the real thing to understand, it's available and it's inside you and it's operating through you now. So now, the only thing we have to do for this morning's discussion is to figure out how to find a balance so we can be mindful and continue to deepen our spiritual connection. The thing to remember, Ernest Holmes said there's power for good in the universe and you can use it. He actually said there's power for good in the universe greater than you, of which you are a part, and you can use it. Everything in life you could ever want is available to you. Our teaching makes that point very, very clear. People approach the ocean of life not remembering this. They forget. They don't know. Or maybe you're new to our center and you've not heard this before. But you are an inlet and outlet of God activity. Whatever the Father has is yours. And what that really means is it's its good pleasure to give you everything. It cannot give to you what it can't give through you. So our teaching invites us to open ourselves up to good and greater good, knowing that we are connected to Source, and knowing from our consciousness all things come. We need to become the guardian at the gates of our consciousness, and that applies to everything, from the people you spend time with, to your digital content, to the amount of time you watch on television, to the kinds of things you watch on television, to the content that you watch on your devices. Because your devices are learning your likes and your dislikes. And again, that puts you in an interesting position where they give you more of what you want and you miss out on less objectivity. So we want to become the guardian at the gates. We want to become mindful of all these things in this changing world. When we teach religious science to children, one of the ways we teach it is in the Quick Start program, where there's a stagecoach. And in that stagecoach, that's your comfort zone. And if you can imagine a stagecoach with a huge team of wild stallions in front of it, representing power, you have the power to take your life wherever you want. You can create better health, you can create more wealth, you can create more peace, you can create more love, you can create great success. Nothing's denied a single person. Everybody here has an equal opportunity in that sense to put a demand on consciousness for a better life with better everything. So what the mind of man or mankind conceive and believe, it will achieve. So today we want to remember that. We want to step out of that stagecoach, which is our comfort zone of our thoughts and our thinking and all the types of programming we entertain. We want to step out of that and realize, look, I can choose differently. I can choose to commune with great thinkers. I can choose to commune with people who affirm me and love me. I'm at choice always, and it's entirely up to me. So let's think about winding this up with the first step of affirmative prayer, which is always recognition. A recognition of who you are. You would say to yourself, I am one with the one. I'm an activity, a divine activity within the very essence of this source, this love, this God. Recognize and say, I am one with this loving energy, and it responds to me now. So get out of that stagecoach, get out of the old thinking, and dare to step on that platform and make some new statements. I'm whole, I'm complete, I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise. And begin to believe the things you say. Because as you believe what you say, things will start to show up in your life. So we start with the first step of the affirmative prayer, which is recognition. We're recognizing that this source it's everywhere present. It's in everyone, everywhere, all over the world. And as you have this understanding that it's there in everyone, you've got to come to the conclusion that it's within you and operating through you. All of this will help you be balanced. It will help you feel powerful and recentered. You are as God created you. You're one with the one. You are an individualization of this one awesome power. And as you recognize this, you'll be able to step forward knowing how powerful you are to create the kind of life you want. And knowing that that intelligence is in you, operating through you right now. And you can always take that pause and inquire within. And you can ask of yourself, what's the most self-loving thing I can do? And the answer will always be given to you. It's always there. You have an internal guidance system. Take the pause and quiet yourself down and ask, and you will have the answers you need. Ask, what's the most self-loving thing I can do in just about any situation, and you will know. So this might be the time for us to be more mindful about the programming that we watch, be it news or be it the endless television or the endless stuff that we're doing to ourselves with the media platforms. I'm sure it's a good inquiry. We're not here to judge technology at all, but we're really asking everybody to be mindful about it. I have a closing statement and affirmation for today, and I'll start it off if you want to join with me in consciousness. Divine Spirit, infinite source, love, wisdom in me. As we conclude our exploration of balance and mindfulness today in this digital age, we're filled with gratitude for the knowledge and the insights that collectively we're sharing and we will share after the lesson. We recognize that technology, while a powerful tool, can sometimes lead us astray from our true selves and our deeper connection with Source. In this moment of reflection and intention, we affirm our commitment to finding balance in our life and use technology as a force for great good, and to daily cultivate mindfulness in our day-to-day living. We release any fears or attachments to excessive screen time, knowing that our inner wisdom guides us towards harmony and clarity. We stand together in our pursuit of a more mindful and balanced existence in alignment with the principles we teach at the center. And as we go forward from this gathering together, may we continue to seek stillness, peace, and embrace the present moment, which is always filled with opportunities, and honor our spiritual essence, honor who we are, what we've come here to be, and we've come here to express life and do so abundantly. With hearts full of love and minds full and open to infinite possibilities, we declare that we are the masters of our own lives and our digital devices, not the slaves to them. We choose balance, we choose mindfulness, we choose a life lived in harmony with this divine that is within. And so it is. Amen. We look forward to seeing you in just a moment. We want to hear your comments, your suggestions, because this is a new subject for us, and I'm sure everybody has different ideas they'd love to share. So Jimmy and I will see you at the other side of the break. Thank you.